Hello. Is that on? Yeah? Hi, my name is Sharfman. My name is Sharfman, and I'll also be belly dancing for you tonight. But actually, you know, all these acts tonight are really reminding me of my very successful childhood in the performing arts. When I was with the cool kids in drama camp in 7th grade, I managed to land the role in Damn Yankees of baseball player number 3. And the waitress. And when I was in 5th grade in our choir, I somehow managed to get a solo in the Hebrew version of Home on the Range. But that school that I went to, it was one of those out-of-town, pretty bad, modern Orthodox high schools. So for those of you who are from New York, and for the 3 non-Jews in the room, these kinds of schools have 2 critical components. The first component is that in every grade, there's a maximum of 7 students. And the second critical component is that all of those students are on drugs. Actually very relevant to how my high school relationship started. There was a boy in my class, he had very smooth pickup lines. He called me one day on the house phone. Hey, Chavie, I noticed that you're the only girl in our class who's not on drugs. And I'm the only boy in our class who's not on drugs. Do you want to go out with me to kosher bet sometime? Unfortunately, that relationship didn't really last. I think it might have been on our 3rd date. He wanted to go stargazing behind the local middle school. So I said, great, my dad has a telescope from the Boy Scouts. I then proceeded to spend most of the date talking about my bladder infection. I was going to be treated the next day. So high school, obviously, that was in 11th grade, so that wasn't the best time for me, besides dating Telescope Boy. And I was always thinking, what would I do after high school? I really wanted to go to seminary, a gap year, and I was talking to a bunch of people who went to different seminaries. There was one called Sharfman's. It was run by a man named Rabbi Sharfman, clever name, I know. Whenever I would meet girls who went there, and they heard that my last name was Sharfman, let me backtrack. Rabbi Sharfman is, he's one of these rabbis who's very, very old, has infinite wisdom, long white beard. You guys got the picture? So, and all these students really respect him very deeply. They would meet me and they would hear that my last name was Sharfman. They would get so excited and say, oh my gosh, are you related to Rabbi Sharfman? And because I have little tolerance for other humans, my token response would be, yeah, we're related. I birthed him out of wedlock. I did end up going to seminary, a different seminary called Nishmat. Before I went, they sent out a packing list, which was very kind, but this was different from all packing lists I've ever seen before. Because it was not a packing list, it was a paragraph that said, Dear incoming students, we would like to remind you that you'll be rooming with girls from a different socioeconomic background than your own. Please do not overwhelm them with your overwhelming American wardrobe. We recommend that you only pack 3 shirts, 3 skirts, some family photos, and a mug. To go to Israel for the year. My Hebrew skills were not great because in 11th and 12th grade, my school administration had difficulty finding math, science, and Hebrew teachers. So instead of those classes, we had Zumba. It was the first Friday night at Nishmat of seminary, and they really wanted us to bond, so we were about 50 girls sitting at a table made for 6. It was August, it was the Middle East, it was hot. I needed some water. But I forgot how to say the very complicated phrase, I'm thirsty. And pass the water. The only thing thing that came to me was, I needed the water really, really badly. I tried to get their attention and I said, Shalom! Ani Reva Bakaron Shalim! Which translates to, hello! I am hungry in my throat! That didn't really help with the bonding experience. Known something like that was going to happen when on my theater SAT2s I got a 370. It's really too bad we don't have SATs and P2s and Zumba, because the year ended up going okay. I learned a little bit of Hebrew. But as the year was coming to a close and I was thinking about coming to secular college in the fall, I was really nervous about my name situation. You see, my legal name is Emily, but my real name / Hebrew name is Chavie. And I didn't know which name I should go by in college because it's really difficult to make the sound if you're not in the middle of clearing your throat. But what, it reminded me of the first time I discovered I had this name issue. I was at my grandmother's house. We were going on a trip. I saw my passport, and as a child, I had this horrible combination of being curious about everything and asking a million questions, while at the same time having a very high-pitched voice. So I went to my grandma and I said, Grandma, how come if my name is really Chavie, on my passport it says Emily? And without missing a beat, she said, if there's a terrorist attack, I don't want them to know you're a Jew. I heard there was a lot of diversity here at Barber. I remember I was here in high school on a college tour, and the admissions representative said, here we have all types of people of different nationalities, races, ethnicities, and even the political diversity here. We have women who range all the way from liberal to radical left wing. But as college started, it was the first few days, I was still going back and forth, thinking, if I go by Emily, does this mean I'm secular now, I'm not Orthodox, I'm leaving all my religiosity behind? All the critical questions you have to answer in the first 3 days of college. But what was great about college is that, all our professors are really at the top of their fields. Experts in everything they do. They have amazing experience. And I'm taking a theater class this semester. And I asked my theater professor, he's finished, what's your experience in theater? It's probably Broadway, film, something really big. He said, that's actually I got a starring role in Confessions of a Shopaholic. Oh, that's awesome, such a big film. What role did you play? I was baseball player number 3 and the waitress.